Yarrney.
Hello, welcome to Yarrney. In this tutorial, you will learn how to make this 3D letter G. It's very easy and suitable for beginners. So the material you will need for this project are basically yarn. So I'm using this Big Twist Posh yarn. It's in a bulky number 5 weight. If you're using a different yarn, it's perfectly fine. If it's a bigger yarn, the project will be bigger. If it's a smaller yarn, the project will be smaller. Now, in terms of other things you will need, of course, you will need a crochet hook. I'm using a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook with my yarn. If you're using a different yarn, just use a hook that is suitable for a yarn. Yarn needle, don't worry, there's no sewing. It's just to hide the piece of yarn at the very end of the project. Some scissors to cut your yarn. And then, of course, you will need some fiber fill to stuff your project so it has the 3D effect. Now, in terms of stitches, all you need to know is basically the slip knot and chain, the single crochet, the increase technique, and the decrease technique. So if you're unfamiliar with any of these stitches and technique, don't worry. We do have very slow and detailed tutorial on the Yarrney channel for each of these stitches and techniques. Otherwise, I will go slow at least once in this video so you can follow along. In order to do the 3D letter G, we will need to make 2 of these flat letter G's, and then we will basically stuff the middle, put one on top of each other, do single crochet all around the edges to sew them together, and then we will have a 3D letter G. As a starting point, we will do a slip knot and chain foundation. So to do the slip knot, we wrap the yarn around our index finger. You bring the tail end on top here. So then you take the working yarn, which is the side that's attached to your ball of yarn, and you do a loop. So now you have 2 loops. So take the back loop forward, and then you have your slip knot. Now you insert your crochet hook, tighten the slip knot. Then we will do 13 chains. So in order to do a chain, you wrap the yarn around your hook, and you pull the yarn with the hook through the loop on the hook here. So that is 1 chain. So we need 13 in total. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So now we're ready to do our row number 1. So do the row number 1, we will start with an increase stitch. So an increase stitch is basically adding 2 single crochet in the same stitch. And we are going to start with the second chain from the hook. So the loop on the hook here does not count as a chain. The first chain from the hook is this first V formation you see from the hook, and then the next one is the second chain from the hook. So you insert your hook in the second chain, then you wrap the yarn around your hook, you pull it back through the chain. So you have 2 loops on your hook. You wrap the yarn around your hook, you pull it through both loops. So this is the first single crochet in the second chain from the hook. Since we're doing an increase stitch, we're inserting a second single crochet in this exact same stitch here. So the exact same second chain from the hook where you just inserted your first single crochet. And now we have 2 single crochet in this same second chain from the hook. Now the next 10 stitches are just going to be 1 single crochet in each chain for a total of 10 single crochet. So we just go to the next chain, we do a single crochet. So we have 1. Now you go to the following. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. And then you will notice that there is one last chain here that you have not worked on. So this last chain is going to be an increase stitch again, meaning we're inserting 2 single crochet in this last chain. So 1 and 2. Now we will move on to row 2. We will chain 1, turn our project around because we want to work from the right to the left. Now in the second row here, we are starting with an increase again. So 2 single crochet in the first stitch. So 1 and 2. And then the next 12 stitch, it's just going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now you see you have a last stitch not worked on. You will do an increase again. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So 1 and 2. And this is row 2. Now we chain 1, turn our project around. Row 3, same concept. We start with an increased stitch. So 2 single crochet in the first stitch here. 1 and 2. And then we do 14 single crochet, so 1 in each of the next 14 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So then you again have one last stitch unworked on. This last stitch will be an increased stitch. So 2 single crochet again in the same stitch here. Now we chain 1, turn our project around, move on to row 4, same concept again, increase in the first stitch. So we're doing 2 single crochet in this same first stitch here. And then we're doing 16 single crochet, 1 in each of the next 16 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then 16. And again, you will have one last stitch unworked on. This will be an increased stitch. So this last stitch here, do 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So 1 and 2. Now chain 1, turn our project around, moving on to row 5. Again, it's going to be the same concept. So increase in the first stitch. So we're doing 2 single crochet in this very first stitch here. And then we will do 18 single crochet in the next 18 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Now the very last stitch here, this is going to be an increased stitch again. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch, the same last stitch here. So 1 and 2. And this concludes row number 5. Now we chain 1, turn our project around. For row 6, it's again the same concept. So we're just trying to grow the space here. So increase in the first stitch, 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So 1 and 2. And then in the next 20 stitches, it's just 1 single crochet in each stitch. So I'm doing 20 single crochet. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So again, the last stitch will be an increased stitch. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch here. 1 and 2. Now this is end of row 6. Chain 1, turn our project around. Row 7, it's going to be the same concept again. First stitch is an increased stitch, so 2 single crochet in the same stitch. 1 and 2. And then the next 22 stitches, it's just 1 single crochet in each stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. So again, you will have one last stitch that is not worked on. This last stitch will be 2 single crochet in the same stitch, meaning an increased stitch. So 1 and 2. So this is row number 7. Now we will chain 1, turn our project around, and now finally we're doing something a little different. So row 8, we're going to start with 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we will do a decrease stitch. So decrease is basically merging 2 stitches together. So insert your hook in the next stitch, under the next stitch here. Pull the yarn back through the stitch. Now we will insert our hook in the following stitch. And then we wrap the yarn around our hook, pull it back through a stitch. Now we have 3 loops on our hook. We wrap the yarn around our hook and we pull it through all 3 loops. So this is a decrease stitch. And this is row number 8 finished. Now we chain 1, turn our project around. Row 9, we're starting with a decrease stitch. So merging the first 2 stitches together. And then we do 6 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then this very last stitch here is going to be an increase stitch. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch, 1 and 2. And then this is row 9. Chain 1, turn our project around. Row 10, we will start with 7 single crochet. So 1 in each of the next 7 stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then the last 2 stitch is going to be a decrease stitch, so we're merging the last 2 together by doing this decrease here. And this is row number 10. Now we chain 1, turn our project around. Now for row 11 all the way to 19, it's just 8 single crochet in each row. So basically, let's start row 11. So 1 single crochet in each stitch for a total of 8 stitches in each row. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And this is row 11. Now you chain 1, turn your project around, and you do the exact same thing for row 12. So 8 single crochet. So go ahead and do that all the way until you reach row 19. And I will meet you back here at the end of row 19 so we can work on row 20 together. Don't forget to chain 1 in between each row. All right, so I'm just doing my last stitch of row 19 here. Now moving on to row 20, so we chain 1, turn our project around. Row 20, we will start with 7 single crochet, so 1 in each of the first 7 stitch. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then this last stitch here that is not worked on here, we will do an increase stitch. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch, 1 and 2. And this is row 20. Now we chain 1, turn our project around. Row 21, we will start with an increase stitch. So 2 single crochet in the first stitch. So 1 and 2. And then we will do 6 single crochet. So 1 in each of the next 6 stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then the last 2 stitch will be a decrease stitch, so we're merging the last 2 stitch together. 1 and 2. Now we chain 1, turn our project around. Row 22, we will start with 8 single crochet, so 1 in each of the first 8 stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then this very last stitch here is going to be an increase stitch. So 1 and 2. And then this is not the end of row 22. We're going to continue with 17 chains. Okay, so basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So once that is done, we will basically work all the way back. So row 23, We will start from the second chain from the hook. So again, remember the loop on the hook doesn't count as a chain. So we have the first chain from the hook, which is the first V formation. Second chain from the hook is where we will insert our stitch here. So row 23, we start with the decrease stitch. So we're merging the second chain from the hook and the third chain from the hook. Insert your hook in the second chain, pull the yarn back through this chain. Now insert your hook on the third chain from the hook, pull the yarn back through this chain, and then wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it through all 3 loops. After this decrease stitch, we will do 22 single crochet. So you just start with your single crochet in the chain here. So 1, 2, 3. Now make sure you do 1 single crochet in each chain. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then you're basically back at the solid portion here, and you continue your single crochet 1 in each. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. And then you will have last 2 stitch not worked on. This will be a decrease stitch. So merge the last 2 stitch together. And this is row 23. Chain 1, turn our project around. Row 24, we will start with a decrease stitch. So merging the first 2 stitch together. And we will continue on with 20 single crochet, 1 in each stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And then you will have again 2 stitches that are not worked on, so you will do a decrease stitch. And this is row 24. Now we chain 1, turn our project around. Row 25, we start with a decrease stitch again, so to merge the first 2 stitch together. And then we will do 18 single crochet, 1 in each of the next 18 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Last 2 stitch here, we will basically do a decrease stitch, 1 and 2. And this is row number 25. Now we chain 1, turn our project around. Row 26, we start with a decrease stitch again. So merging the first 2 stitches together. And in the next 16 stitches, it's 1 single crochet in each stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And then we will do a decrease stitch in this last stitch, merging the last 2 stitches together. And this is row number 26. Then we chain 1, turn our project around. For row 27, we will start with a decrease stitch again, so merging the first 2 stitches together. And then we will do 14 single crochet, 1 in each of the next 14 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then 14. And then the last 2 stitches will be a decrease stitch again, so merging the last 2 stitches together. Now we chain 1, turn our project around. Row 28, we will start with a decrease stitch again, so merging the first 2 stitches together. Then we will do 12 single crochet, 1 in each of the next 12 stitches. So I have already completed 2. I'm at number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then the last 2 stitches here, it will be a decrease stitch. So merging the last 2 stitches together. And this is row 28. We chain 1, turn our project around. We start with our first 2 stitches being a decrease, so merge the first 2 stitches together. And then you will do 10 single crochet, 1 in each of the next 10 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then the last 2 stitches here again will be a decrease stitch. So 1 and 2 here, merging the last 2 stitches together. So now what we're going to do, just cut your yarn. It doesn't need to be too long here. And then you just pull onto the yarn with your crochet hooks to secure the stitch. So for part 2 here, we will basically turn this project around like this. And we will look at this top portion here. And this is where we did the chains to go all the way from here all the way across. So now you will count 11 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now under this 11th chain, you insert your hook. And then you just go on to take your yarn, and then we will wrap it around our hook here, pull it through this 11th chain, use your finger to do your regular tension and the other finger to hold on to this loose piece. And then we will start with a decrease stitch. So we're merging the next 2 chains together here. And then we will just do 8 single crochet, 1 in each of the next 8 chains here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 here. Then we will chain 1, turn our project around, and then we will basically start this row 2 with an increase. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch here. So 1 and 2. And then we will do 6 single crochet, so 1 in each of the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then the last stitch will be a decrease stitch, so we're merging the last 2 stitches together. So 1 and 2 here. And this is row 2. Now we chain 1, turn our project around. We will start with a decrease stitch, so merge the first 2 stitches together. And then we will finish with 7 single crochet, 1 in each of the next 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we can just cut our yarn. Just pull onto the yarn with your hook like this. And this is basically part 2 here completed, where we have this top section going down a little bit. Now we're just going to do this bottom section so it looks more like a G. So your project basically look like this. Now you will turn it around, and at the bottom section here, we will basically count 10 stitches. So each stitch is like a V formation. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Insert your hook under the 10th stitch, and again, we will go grab onto our yarn, wrap it around the hook, pull it through the stitch here, and then do your tension, hold on to this loose piece. Now we will start with the decrease stitch again, so merging the first 2 stitches together. And then we can do 7 single crochet, 1 in each of the next 7 stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Now we will chain 1, turn our project around. Row 2 and 3 are just going to be 8 single crochet in each row. So very straightforward. 8 stitch in each row here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this is row 2. Chain 1, turn your project around. Row 3 here, same thing, 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Chain 1, turn your project around. Row 4, we will start with 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then we will do 4 chains. Okay, so row 4 we continue with 4 chains. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now from the second chain from the hook, we will start by doing single crochet. So row 5, 6, 7, it's just 11 single crochet in each row. So starting from the second chain from the hook, we start our single crochet here. So 1, 2, 3, and then you're back at the solid portion here. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and this is row number 5. Chain 1, turn your project around. We only have 2 more rows to go. So row 6, again 11 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is row 6. Now chain 1, turn your project around. Row 7, so 11 single crochet, 1 in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And this is basically it. Now there are 2 options. So since we have the flat G here, if this is your first one, you just have to make another one. So see, I have 2 here. So if this is your first one and you need to do the second one, just go ahead and cut your yarn and then pull onto the yarn with your hook like this so you can secure the stitch. But if this is your second one, do not cut your yarn. We will just use this to do single crochet all around the edge to merge the 2 pieces together. So I have the 2 pieces, and you just make sure they're both aligned, and then we're basically ready to just do single crochet. So all you have to do is, once you've making sure that both pieces are aligned, you just start doing single crochet all around. So from one side, and then you go grab the other, and then you do single crochet one side to the other. This will make sure the project is merging together. So just doing that basically like this. So this is pretty straightforward. All you're going to do all around is just going to be single crochet. And then once you arrive at a corner like this, what I like to do in the corner here is insert 2 single crochet instead of 1. So I insert my first here in this corner, and then I insert a second one in the same corner. This just kind of makes sure that the corners are a little bit more straight or sharp. And then you just continue 1 single crochet in each of the next stitch when it's not a corner, like this. And then you will have these little tails that are popping out of the project. When you go around, just make sure you insert the tails inside. And of course, before you shut the entire project, make sure you insert fiber fill or anything you have to stuff your project to have the 3D effect. So go ahead and do that all around your project, and I will meet you back here at the end just to show you how to finish the project. So once you have gone through all around the project and finished everything stuffed, so the last thing we will do, just finish with a slip stitch. So insert your hook in the next stitch, pull the yarn back through the stitch into the loop on the hook, and this will secure the stitch. So you can go ahead and cut the yarn. Doesn't need to be too long. Pull the yarn with your hook, and then just use a yarn needle just so we can hide the piece of yarn inside the project, anywhere inside the project like this. And then you can just cut your yarn. And this is how you do a 3D letter G. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon for another video. Thank you so much for watching.